Durk faces 3 new federal charges in connection to a deadly shooting in Los Angeles in August of 2022.
5 suspected co-conspirators have been charged alongside Grammy-winning rapper Lil Durk, whose real name is Dirk Banks, in a murder-for-hire conspiracy. And let's just say, things inside the jail are heating up. Word on the street is that Durk's involvement in some serious jail fights has been making waves, with videos going viral. But honestly, that's just scratching the surface. Behind bars, it's not just about survival, there's planning and plotting happening too. Rumors of revenge are spreading fast, and every move Durk makes is under the microscope. Now, Durk's situation just got even messier. The feds recently dropped some bombshells, and things aren't looking promising for him. You'd think Quando Rondo would sit back and let things cool off, but nope, he's staying in the mix. Despite Durk being firmly locked up with little chance of getting out soon, Quando is making his presence felt. This all stems from one of the longest-running feuds in hip-hop between NB a Young Boy's crew and Durk's off camp. Even though Durk, who Quando once called Big Bro, is 6 years older, the tension between them has been brewing for years. Right after news of Durk's arrest broke, Quando dropped a track called Life Goes On, addressing his cousin's death and the pain of gun violence. Lyrics like "Life goes on, I know how you feel. It feels like the rain is coming down" struck a chord with fans. Some think the song is more about honoring his cousin Lil Pab than dissing Durk, but let's be real, these two have traded shots for years. Remember Durk's infamous interview with DJ Academics? Yeah, Durk wasn't holding back then either. Fast forward to now, and the feds aren't just accusing Durk of being part of this feud, they're labeling him the mastermind behind a plot targeting Quando's late cousin. The case paints a dramatic picture. Durk's October 24th arrest in Broward County, Florida, comes with allegations that he tried to flee the country, booking flights to Italy, Switzerland, and Dubai while planning to hop a private jet. Clearly, he knew the heat was coming. By the time the feds got to him, they'd already nabbed 4 off crew members. The indictment filed in Los Angeles claims that the 2022 shooting meant to target Quando instead killed his cousin Lil Pab. Prosecutors are coming hard for Durk and his crew, naming Kayon Vonnie Grant, Wilson DeAndre, and others in this high-stakes case. One thing's for sure, this feud isn't ending quietly. Asa Boogie Houston and David Brown Lindsay, prosecutors in this case, didn't mince words when they stated that Opps used credit cards to purchase flights to California on August 18, 2022 as part of a scheme to track Quando. The charges range from conspiracy to commit murder for hire, resulting in death, and using arms, including a machine, for violent crime. The story behind the chaos is more than just a tale of negligent decisions. It's a web of secrecy, betrayal, and violence that started long before the tragic death of King Von in 2020. At the center of it all is the alleged mastermind, who tried to cover his tracks by warning his crew through iCloud to avoid using payment methods that could be traced back to them. But despite these efforts to stay under the radar, things quickly spiraled out of control. As soon as the team touched down, they went straight into action, tracking Quando Rondo's every move in Los Angeles. Vonnie, determined to oversee the operation himself, flew in from Miami on a private jet, making sure every detail was in place. He brought guns, a white Infiniti, and a white Beam sedan, preparing for the hit. The plan was simple: follow Quando's black Escalade, wait for the right moment, and strike. The team eventually opened fire, marking yet another chapter in this deadly feud. Meanwhile, Lil Durk, trying to escape the mounting heat, booked several international flights to Italy, Switzerland, Dubai, hoping to throw off the authorities. But little did he know, the feds were already on his trail. They had wiretaps, tracking devices, and even receipts proving that Durk was planning an escape, all while making threats against potential witnesses. The situation was growing messier by the minute, but the drama didn't stop there. Court documents revealed a shocking twist: there was a mole in Durk's camp. And not just any informant, this was someone Durk trusted like a brother. The mole, known as Jam, wasn't a new face in Durk's world. In fact, Durk had welcomed him back into his circle after Jam served a 12-year prison sentence, believing he could count on him. Jam had reinserted himself into the mix, appearing in videos and seeming fully invested in the Opps lifestyle. But all the while, he was secretly feeding law enforcement critical information about the crew's every move. Some speculate that James even wore a wire during interactions with Opps members, explaining how the authorities were always one step ahead, staying in the know about Durk's plans and those of his associates. The tragic loss of King Von in 2020 marked a turning point for Lil Durk, pushing him into a dark, vengeful mindset. Prosecutors believe that the heartbreak from Von's death fueled Durk's desire for revenge. Reports suggest that Durk even placed a bounty on Quando Rondo, offering perks like music deals to anyone who could take him out. This feud, which many thought was just about rap, went much deeper for Durk. It became personal. Losing Von was a breaking point for him, driving him to pursue retaliation at any cost. To fully understand how things escalated to this point, you have to look back at the long history of tension between Quando Rondo and Lil Durk. It didn't start with a simple beef between the two. The roots of this feud stretch all the way back to the tragic death of King Von. Von, a beloved member of Durk's Opps crew, had been stirring things up earlier in 2020 by posting pictures with NB a Youngboy's ex, Janaea. This act alone sent shockwaves through social media, reigniting a long simmering rivalry between Opps and the NBA, one that was only made worse by Von's death later that year. What started as a personal vendetta escalated into something much more dangerous, dragging both sides deeper into a cycle of violence that still reverberates today. This isn't just a rap beef, it's a deadly clash of egos, loyalty, and revenge. The consequences of this feud are far-reaching, and with each new revelation, it's clear that no one is walking away unscathed. The relationship was strictly professional, but the pictures caused tension between V and the NB a youngster. Rondo, who was loyal to his label head, kept stepping in to support the youngster, which made the situation worse. The drama finally reached a breaking point when V addressed the rumors in an interview with DJ Academics on November 5, 2020. Everything seemed fine, or so it appeared, but let's be real, when it comes to rap, things rarely stay calm for long. It's like you can't have a proper beef unless someone gets hurt, right? Von himself once downplayed the idea of any tension, saying, "Hell no, I don't have any rap beef. There isn't any real beef at all." He brushed off the rumors, claiming it was just people talking, hyping things up on the internet and dragging him into drama that didn't exist. But then, just a day after Von gave that interview, tragedy struck. It was November 6, 2020, outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. Around 2:15 a.m., tempers flared between Von's crew and Quando Rondo's team, escalating into a full-blown fight and then gunfire. It wasn't just them, even off-duty police officers got involved. By the end of the chaos, 6 people were shot and 3 lost their lives. Among the victims was King Von. Despite being rushed to the hospital, he didn't survive. Timothy Leaks, aka Lil Tim, was arrested and charged with Von's murder. But in a shocking twist, nearly 2 years later, those charges were dropped under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law. Quando's camp argued that Von initiated the fight, and security footage backed this up, showing Von throwing the first punch at Rondo before Tim stepped in with deadly force. While Rondo and his team walked away without legal repercussions, public opinion wasn't as kind. Von's fans and even his allies like Lil Durk blamed Rondo for the loss. Since that night, Quando has mostly avoided talking directly about Von's death. When he does, it's often cryptic, like saying, "When God calls you home, you gotta go." His refusal to show remorse, combined with his loyalty to Lil Tim, has only fueled the ongoing tension. Rondo has been unapologetic. In a 2023 interview, sitting side by side with Lil Tim, he made it clear, "I'm not about to lie. I'm not dying for Durk. I got his name tattooed and I stand with my brother." His comments were a direct shot at Durk and left no room for reconciliation. The beef only deepened over time, with both sides throwing jabs on social media, keeping the feud alive. Then, in another shocking incident on August 19, 2022, Quando and his cousin Lil Pab were ambushed at a gas station. A white car pulled up and 3 men opened fire. Rondo escaped unharmed, but Pab wasn't so lucky. He was critically injured and later died at the hospital. From the streets to social media, this feud shows no signs of slowing down, and the cycle of loss and retaliation keeps the drama alive. Heartbroken by the loss, Rondo paid a moving homage to PAB on Instagram, and a widely shared video captured his unfiltered emotional response to the tragedy. However, Durk fanned the flames by using Rondo's heartfelt cry of no as a sample in a song that made fun of his sorrow and heightened the conflict in March 2023, when both musicians were scheduled to release albums. In the same month, the tension between Quando Rondo and Lil Durk seemed to cool off, especially as Rondo shifted his priorities after converting to Islam. It looked like Rondo was moving toward a more peaceful path. But while his story seemed to be taking a turn, Lil Durk's future took a darker twist. Durk is now facing federal murder charges tied to the ambush that claimed the life of Lil Pab. If convicted, he could face life in prison or even the death penalty. This arrest didn't just escalate the drama, it also dealt a serious blow to Durk's reputation. Until recently, Durk was celebrated as a community hero. He had been honored with keys to suburban Chicago towns like Broadview and Bellwood for his work with the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. But all that changed after his arrest on October 25, 2024. Broadview quickly revoked his honor and cut ties with his nonprofit. Mayor Katrina Thompson explained that while Durk is presumed innocent, the village holds its public partners to strict ethical standards. Bellwood hasn't made a move yet, but many believe they'll follow Broadview's lead. While losing accolades is tough, Durk has much bigger problems to deal with. The prosecutors in his case have piled on more charges, including additional details about a murder-for-hire scheme and several firearms offenses. Investigators claim Durk funded the operation, pointing to evidence like records of him and off associates booking flights, renting luxury cars, buying ski masks, and putting the shooters up in hotels. With all these allegations stacking up, things aren't looking good. Do you think Lil Durk has any chance of beating these charges and walking free someday? If convicted, he and his crew could spend the rest of their lives behind bars. The government's case seems solid, and it's clear they're not backing down. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't miss our next video. We'll be diving even deeper into this unfolding drama.